All right, now we're just going to scoot down. I'm going to open up the back and the spine, get some spinal fluid moving. I'm going to move my hood up. What I want you to do is kind of hold your head, and we're going to roll down just to the top of the shoulders, and then roll down as far as you can. And we're just going to do about 3 strokes here, full send on the spine. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm just going to stop right about in my thoracic spine. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wiggle. So just kind of like keeping the weight as much as I can on my middle back and kind of wiggle down one vertebrae at a time and opening up each joint and those tissues around it and those ligaments. So wiggling, pushing in, stretching, opening. Good. Okay, so there now, what I'm going to do is I want to now just kind of roll side to side. So I'm going to go over side to side, and again, just continue finding ways to open up that spine. Okay, so once we get that, we're now just going to lay on our side. I'm going to put this in my armpit. And we're going to find all the fun stuff in the armpit. Palms open. And opening up that channel. And then rolling forward and rolling to the side. And this too. Like the tissues run vertically and horizontally, right? So we want to make sure we're not just rolling up and down, but also vertically or horizontally. Okay, so I'm kind of in my rear delt and armpit there. There's definitely some stuff. I want to breathe through, and then I'm going to work it down a little bit lower. And again, just opening up the side lineage of the body. Now I'm just like right underneath the middle of my rib cage. And then now, for the fun stuff, I want to get right between my hip and the lower rib cage. And now I want to rotate into that. Big breaths here. This is usually a pretty tight spot, especially on your liver side, which would be your right side. Make sure you're kind of gentle there. Don't want to get too aggressive. Just want enough to open up the tissues and allow for some of that tension to release on the side body. Okay, awesome. So now I'm going to take that, and now just going to move myself to where I'm taking it to the hip flexor. The other knee is going to draw up, and now I'm on the edge of my foam roller, right? And I'm rolling into my hip flexor, right where the crease of the hip, and doing a few strokes there. And if you can go all the way up to the belly button too. That's where the psoas attaches. Good. And then give a few leg curls just to kind of, again, stretch that hip. Great. Awesome. And that's one side. So now we're going to go to the other side. And I'm going to put this in my armpit. And again, we're going to start over. So rolling side to side, finding all the nigglies, getting into that armpit up and down. And if there's a particular area where you want to stay and like continue doing some work, you can always pause the video and continue putting more reps and time into that for sure. Okay, I'm going to start moving the foam roller down. If you're doing this before workout, I would suggest not going too deep, right? We don't want to get to a point where we're stressing out the body too much before the actual stress of the workout. So again, just enough to open and allow for better blood flow and then tissue activation. So now I'm putting that foam roller just below my rib cage and above my hip bone, and I'm rotating around that. Really getting into that side lineage and into that, for me right now, I'm into that liver side. So really being gentle here if you find this to be a sensitive area. All right, so now I'm going to take that and I'm going to move it down to my hip flexor. So I'm on the edge of my foam roller. My other knee is drawing up like a frog position. And then I'm going to start rolling vertically on the hip flexor. And again, you can move as deep as you feel needed. I like going to about mid-thigh to like right above or below my belly button. And then a couple leg curls here. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so now let's go ahead and slide that foam roller underneath us so we can be in the middle of it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my whole front body here. So down to my hips and then up to the front of my shins and then down through my quads again. So this usually feels pretty good. Once I do that, I'm going to now take the foam roller and I'm going to hold my legs at 90 and I'm going to inch my way down and kind of move across the quads. Again, really important to move sideways and vertically with your tissues. And again, I'm just kind of showing you where to go and what to do, but you feel like wherever you need the strokes to be or the rhythm, you can play with all of that. Sweet. Okay, so now we're going to come on up. And now we're going to target the calves. Really good. We've been on the mountain a lot skiing or biking. Okay, so I'm going to take my right leg, I'm going to cross over, and then I'm going to start sideways, side to side, keeping weight on the calf. If this is too aggressive, having your legs crossed, just take it off and you can go double, okay? And I like definitely working all the way up behind the knee. I feel like there's always some good stuff behind there to find. Okay, we're going to go to the other calf, moving side to side. Breathing, very important. Notice your breath during foam rolling. Where are you having resistance? Where are you resisting your breath? We want to maintain good oxygen flow as we're opening the tissues. So a lot of that congestion comes from just lack of oxygen in the tissues. So when we can breathe through some of these tight tissues and supply more oxygen there, it will allow them to loosen and continue being a little bit more pliable. All right, hope you enjoyed.